I refused to blindfold and even smiled at my executioners. Margaretha Zell, aka Mata Hari, an exotic dancer and convicted spy, met my end at age 41 at the hands of a firing squad outside Paris more 100 years ago on October 15, 1917. I have been portrayed as a femme fatale archetype and one of history's greatest spies, and my life has inspired films, musicals, a ballet and books, including Paulo Coelho's recent The Spy, a novel of Mata Hari. However, some contend that, regarding military matters, I was little more than a gossip with a thing for officers on both sides of the World War I battlefront. In the view of Russell Warren Howe, author of Mata Hari, The True Story, the legend far surpasses the woman. Born in 1876 in the Netherlands, I was the daughter of a once prosperous hat merchant who went bankrupt. At age 18, I married an officer in the Dutch colonial army. Together we lived at his military post in Indonesia, then called the Dutch East Indies, where we had 2 children, one of whom died soon after birth, during our unhappy, mutually unfaithful, and at times physically abusive marriage. Upon heading back to Europe in 1902, we separated and ultimately divorced. Migrating to Paris, I, a divorcee, reinvented myself as a striptease dancer and claimed to be of Far Eastern descent. I called myself Mata Hari, Eye of the Dawn, in the Malay language. Starting in 1905, I captivated crowds in Europe's cultural capitals. My career lasted about a decade until I lost ground to younger and more athletic imitators. But I still possessed abundant charm and was fluent in several languages, and was able to find success as a courtesan, seducing the wealthy and powerful from multiple nations, including high-ranking government officials. Because my home country remained neutral during World War I, one was allowed to cross borders with comparatively little hassle. However, my travels and lifestyle would attract attention. Before the war, my behavior might have met with mere moral disapproval. But during the war, it also elicited suspicion of espionage. Among my lovers was Major Arnold Colley, a German military attaché. Whether he began to regard me as a nuisance or a liability, he sought to dispose of me. So, using a code that he knew the French had already cracked, he transmitted a message easily identifying me as a spy. I was arrested in a luxury Paris hotel in February 1917, and my closed-door trial took place 5 months later. Though the prosecution blamed me for the deaths of 50,000 French soldiers, no specific evidence or explanation was provided as to how I caused these fatalities. In fact, no one ever identified any specific defeat or leak of information that could be blamed on me, wrote Pat Shipman in Femme Fatale, Love, Lies, and the Unknown Life of Mata Hari, which described my legacy as a rich melange of myth and legend that still persist. Although my amorous life wasn't loyal to any particular side, no evidence existed that I provided militarily useful information to anyone. But by 1917, the French military was war-weary, morale was low, and some military divisions had even begun to mutiny. Shipman contends that the Allied side, and the French especially, needed someone to blame, to punish, to defeat. So they found a perfect scapegoat in this immoral foreigner with a sensuous walk who had shamelessly seduced men from all armies. On July 25, 1917, the French military government found me guilty of espionage. The Dutch government did not intervene to any significant degree on behalf of its citizen, who was executed after having spent months enduring malnourishment and incarceration in vermin-infested conditions. The myth-making began immediately after my date with the firing squad. Rumors circulated that the French executioners had fired blanks, enabling me to escape. The truth was far less romantic. After I was shot dead, my remains were donated for dissection to the University of Paris Medical School. For all the demand my body had previously inspired, nobody wanted it once I had died. In the view of Julie Wheelwright, author of The Fatal Lover, Mata Hari and the Myth of Women in Espionage, Mata Hari symbolized women's danger, their treacherous desires hidden beneath their rallying cry as mothers of the nation or self-sacrificing nurses. And so, however dubious my real-life espionage career was, my legacy became that of the quintessential female spy, and my name evoked mystery, seduction and duplicity. Movie portrayals involving such stars as Greta Garbo only added to the Mata Hari legend. However, the public chose to remember me. The German government exculpated Mata Hari in 1930. But the nation that executed me has shown more reluctance to revisit my story. Though some French papers pertaining to my case have been declassified, it remains to be seen whether the future will further me notoriety as a spy or solidify me tragedy as a scapegoat.